Welcome back to our YouTube channel, yogis. We're going to start standing at the back of our mat, and let's just come into a forward fold. So since it's probably the first forward fold of the day, you can widen your feet a little bit if that feels good for you. And then, of course, bend your knees a lot, and we're just going to hang out here for a few breaths. So whatever's bringing you back to your mat today, just start to kind of make contact with that in your mind. And just keep that kind of at the forefront as we move today. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Just notice where you feel any tension, maybe in your hammies, your spine, maybe your neck and shoulders. And we'll take one big breath in together. And on the exhale, release the hands down. We'll take a twist. Bend your right knee and lift your left arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, let's come down. We're going to swap it out. Bend the left knee, lift that right arm up. Take another breath in and then exhale. Let it go. We're going to halfway lift. Inhale and exhale to fold. Root to rise. Inhale, reach up. Scoop the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, full length of the inhale. That's how long it takes you to rise. And then exhale all the way down. Use the whole exhale to make your way there. 1 more time. Inhale, reach up. This time we'll take a lateral stretch to the right. So drop the right hand down and reach that left arm as far over right as you can. Maybe tuck your chin, gaze down at your belly button. And when you're ready to breathe in, center. Exhale to the left. Left hand can fall. Tuck your chin, reach over to the left. And then we'll inhale, reach back up through center, little back bend on the exhale. Just open the chest however you like. You can cactus the arms. Inhale through center, reach up, and exhale to forward fold. Bend those knees a lot. We're going to take a bind behind the back. Kind of like the twist we did before, but this time hands are off the ground. Bend that right knee and lift the left shoulder up. Exhale, swap it out. Left knee bends, lift that right shoulder. And exhale, release the hands. Start to heel toe the feet together. The big toes will touch. The heels will have like 2 inches of space. And we're going to sit down, chair pose. Reach the arms forward. We're going to hang out here for 3 breaths. So tucking the tailbone and trying to reach the arms up and back. So you can't really see the biceps in your peripheral. Maybe on your next exhale, you sink a little lower in the chair. And we're going to kick that right leg out in front of us. Try to kind of lift from the hip flexor. And then exhale, chair pose. Same thing, left side. Kick that left leg out. Maybe bend into that right knee. And let's come back. Chair pose, deep breath in. Exhale, rise up, reach up. Inhale. Exhale, back bend. Open that chest 1 more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach the hands up and exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on your inhale. And exhale, we're going to walk it to puppy pose. So you're going to come down onto your knees, get them separated about hip width distance, and then reach the arms forward until you start to feel your chest come closer to the ground. So in child's pose, we have the hips and the heels meeting. But in puppy pose, we keep the hips right over the knees, and it's the chest that melts down towards the floor. So if you're as flexible as Val here and you can reach the chest to the actual mat, then you'll flip your chin and open up your throat. All right, but if your chest is lifted, you're going to keep your forehead down on the mat and maybe keep reaching through the fingers. So wherever you are, let's take a big, huge breath in. Exhale to deepen. We're going to come forward into Sphinx pose. So walking the front body all the way down to the mat. Start to separate your feet about the width of the mat, keeping the feet pushing into the mat. Push your hips into the mat. And then make sure your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Really press into the forearms and try to spread your collarbones. Tuck your chin. We'll be here for 3. Lifting up through the shoulders for 2. And exhaling, we'll release here. We're going to push through the left arm, reach back with the right arm, and maybe grab for the top of your right foot. Take a little quad stretch. Try to kick the foot towards the glute just as much as you push the foot down. And when you're ready, we'll swap it out. Let the right hand come down. Left arm reaches back. And just feel that nice opening through the top of the left leg. Let's go 1 more breath in. And exhaling, legs down, both arms are straight. Come into a cobra pose. Start to walk the hands under the shoulders. Lift the chest. Curl those toes under, and let's find a down dog on your exhale. So walking the legs here, keeping a little bit of warmth through the backs of the legs and some length through the spine. Push your heart back towards your thighs and tuck your chin a little bit. We're going to roll through some spinal waves. So on your inhale, come into plank. And then bend your knees and push it back down dog. And we're going to do that a few more times. So this is a good place to match up your movement with your breath again. Use that full inhale to roll forward and that full exhale to push it back. All right, if you've got a little more space, a little more flexibility, maybe omit the bent knees and just roll through almost an up dog to a down dog if you'd like to. Couple more rounds here. Awesome. Let's move into that plank again, hold it here, and we're going to drop down onto the forearms, holding a forearm plank for about 5 breaths. Trying to press up through the shoulders, keep that low belly hugging in and upward. Nice. Gaze is down, chin is tucked, almost like we're spiking our heels to the back of the mat. Let's go one more breath in. And as you exhale, press it up to your downward facing dog, one hand at a time. And we're going to roll through our vinyasa. So come into your plank pose, and you can come all the way to your belly or stop halfway. The chest will lift, and you'll find your back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale, curl the toes, downward facing dog. So about 3 breaths in our down dog. Again, your option is to kind of be here just holding it statically, or you're moving. You're pedaling the feet, you're wagging the tail. On your next exhale, we're going to drop it to tabletop. And then we're going to work our cat-cow. So move at your own pace and kind of add in anything that's unique to you. Sometimes I see like ribcage circles. Sometimes people like to sit it back to a child's pose on their exhale. So anything that just kind of helps you unwind. Think about unwinding the ribcage, lengthening and flexing the spine. And coming back to whatever brought you to your mat today. As you breathe in, think about that reason that you showed up. And try to focus a little harder on that every time you exhale. We'll go one more round of breath here. When you're ready to inhale, let's find a neutral spine and kick that right leg back behind you. Toes can point down towards the ground. We're going to hold here for a breath in and out. Now grounding through the left hand, you might have to shuffle the left foot a little bit more behind your booty, but we're going to reach back and see if we can grab the right ankle with the right hand. So watch your balance here. If you wiggle and wobble, it's all good. Kind of a modified side plank. Going to go one more inhale. Now on your exhale, right hand comes down, right toes come down, and you're going to start to shift to the pinky toe edge of that right foot. The left foot is going to come down onto the ground. So the left knee is bent, and the knee is kind of shooting out from the hip. On your inhale, reach up like you see Val doing, and on your exhale, you're going to hover the right hip just above the mat. Reach your hand back. So a couple rounds of this kind of lifting and lowering. That left arm can even extend overhead if you'd like it to. Let's go one more time. Exhale, lower. Now the next time you lift, down dog arms. So bring that left hand up. Going to kick the right leg into the air. Take a big breath in and exhale, step it between the palms. Pyramid pose is where we're going. So you want the heels to be in line and the left toes to be pointing up towards the left corner of your mat. Pull that right hip back. And if you have blocks or something that can bring the earth up to you, that might help you in this pose. You can even stack your hands up on your shin. And when you're ready, you're going to inhale and lift halfway, and then exhale and lower. See if you can deepen into that right hip. We'll do that once more. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower. We'll hold this for 2 breaths, thinking about pulling the right hip back so it lines up with your left. And keeping those shoulders kind of drawing down the back. Start to wiggle the legs further apart. We're going to drop that left knee down for a low lunge. So the right knee should stay over or maybe a little bit behind the right ankle. Start to lift your arms and push your hips forward. So crescent moon, inhale to reach up and maybe back a little bit on your exhale. One more breath in. And slowly hands will come down, half split. Start to lift those right toes up. And again, just like our pyramid, we want to pull back from the right hip. So not so much leaning back with that left hip over the heel. Keeping the knee right underneath that left hip. We'll go one more time through that flow. So bringing the right foot down, reaching the arms up, and maybe back on the exhale. And then moving through your half splits. Keep some flexion in that right foot. Lift the toes towards the knee. Now the next time you bend into that right knee, we're going to come into a crescent lunge. So lift the left knee up off the mat. Awesome. And then again, inhale, reach up, and exhale, maybe reach back. Beautiful. Okay, so Skandasana to the back of the mat. So you're going to come towards the left knee and lift up the right toes. Sometimes your left heel will touch the ground, sometimes it won't. But what you want to look for here is that stretch on the right inner thigh. So wherever you are, we're going to enjoy that for one more breath. Maybe you can sink further down on your exhale. And then we'll come into runner's lunge at the back of the mat. So over those left toes is where we're going. Give yourself a little moment to kind of stack the knee over the ankle. And let's plant the hands and kick that right leg back. Left leg back. So we're coming into a 3-leg down dog. We're going to lift the left leg and then bend our knee and stack our hips. So almost like you're kicking the right side of the room here. Try to square those shoulders off. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale, down dog. Rolling through that spinal wave for 2 rounds of breath. Inhale into your plank and exhale, kick it back. One more time. Exhale, dog. We're going to come through our vinyasa. So coming into the plank pose and dropping it down, either belly or halfway, lifting the heart, and exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, descend to the knees. So coming back into our tabletop, and we'll kick the left leg back. So toes point down, keep those hips level, and we'll hold for a round of breath. Starting to shift the weight into the right hand, maybe pivoting that right foot behind you to help with balance. Take that little teardrop baby side plank pose here. Pushing the chest forward and kicking the leg and the arm back. And then we've got a better view of it this time. Actually, we don't. She's still going to turn the other way. We're going to bring the left hand down, left toes to the back of the mat. Start to roll onto the pinky toe edge of that left foot. Right knee shoots out from the hip. Notice how Val's right foot is down on the floor underneath her left hip. Inhale to reach. Exhale. Try to lower down, but don't let the left hip touch down. Moving at the pace of your breath. So really tune in to what the speed of your breath is here. And then notice if you have the control to slow it down a little bit. All right, next time you lift, we're going to hold there into a downward dog stance. We're going to start to lift the hips again, lift that left leg, and exhale, step in between the hands. Beautiful. Right leg will walk back a little bit for your pyramid. And then again, we want the right toes pointing up towards the top right corner of what is now the front of the mat. And then we're going to inhale, halfway lift, and exhale. See if you can deepen, lower a little bit more. And we'll do that again. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, release. So we'll hold here, pulling back from the left hip this time. Keep those shoulders in mind. Try to bring them down the back. And let's start to wiggle our feet further apart. Going to end up lowering that right knee down and lifting the arms for your low lunge. So we want to keep the hips pressing forward and the heart reaching back. The next time you exhale, let's find the half splits. Now this time, let's keep the heart reaching forward and the hips pulling back. And we'll roll through that flow one more time. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, bring it back. Keep the toes pulling back towards the knee. Next time you bend into the left knee, lift the right toes or right knee up off the mat. Arms high for your crescent lunge. Reach back, look back. And exhale, Skandasana towards the right leg. So coming back to the new front of the mat, lifting the left toes. And we're going to hang out here for one more round of breath. Notice where you feel the stretch. As you exhale, we'll come to a lunge over the right knee. So runner's lunge, kind of set it up for a breath or two. Plant the hands and let's move it into that three-legged down dog. Right leg up, bend your knee and open up your hips. Keep the shoulders in line. So a good way to do that is press through that right hand. Try to square off that armpit towards the floor. And we'll exhale into our vinyasa. So pull it into your plank pose and lower down. Inhale the chest up. And we'll come to a child's pose. So if you want to hang out on your dog, that is all you. If not, let's come wide leg child's pose. Bring the two big toes to touch and let those knees open up as wide as you feel comfortable. And then remember why you're here today. Start to let all of your focus land on that reason, that intention. Notice how your movement has maybe stirred up how you have felt today. Maybe a little bit more calm is coming into your life right now with a little movement. Let's take 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to work it into our down dog again. And we'll hang out there for a while, just kind of moving the legs. So pedal one leg at a time. Sometimes it's nice to inhale both the heels up and then exhale, try to set those heels down on the floor a little more. With your breath, play with your movement one more round. And we're going to bend our knees deeply on the next inhale. Look to the head of your mat. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way there. So maybe a big hop, a couple steps, land in your fold. And let's prepare the feet for chair pose. Wiggle the heels apart, the toes together, and then inhale, lift the arms, sit the booty down. Utkatasana. So round the tailbone underneath you, and then lift your heart up a little more. On your next inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. Gonna kick the left leg in front of you like we did before. Try to see if you can raise the toes up and sink the booty low. And when you're ready, warrior 3, kick that left leg back, reach the arms forward or maybe down past your hips. You can also keep them at heart center in prayer. We're here for 3. Toes pointing down towards the mat for 2. And 1, keep the left toes to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Hands can come down towards the right leg. And we're going to move on to the pinky toe edge of that left foot, coming into a side plank. Lift the right leg up, float it if you can. Beautiful. You're here for 3, holding strong. Ground down through that left palm. 2. And wild thing in 1. So plop those right toes behind the left leg and lift your hips up. You're doing a little back bend. The left leg is straight-ish. Reach that right arm back. Beautiful. We're going to come back to where we were. Left leg is back, right leg forward. You're in a lunge at the top of your mat. Keep the left arm down. Open that right arm up towards the sky. Revolved lunge. 1 more breath here. And let's bring that left hand down or right hand down in front of the right toes. Pick the left leg up and then open that left arm up towards the sky, half moon. So kind of like we do in those 3-leg down dogs where we stack our hips. We want to try to keep the shoulders and the hips stacked one on top of the other. You might even play with flipping your gaze up towards your left hand. All right, wherever you are, kick through that left leg. We're going to come into warrior 2. Let the left leg drop down, arms open up nice and wide. The left edge, well, the pinky toe edge, rather, of the left foot needs to ground down here. And then push through that right knee and deepen into your warrior 2. We're going to flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Keep a bend in the right knee, but reach the right hand back. Keep reaching. And then straighten the knee, reverse triangle. See if you can get a little more length in that right side body. Inhale. And use your exhale to find Trikonasana. So keep the length in the right side body and then add some length in the left as well. We don't want to collapse into those right ribs. Let's keep the crown of the head shooting forward. Pull the left hip back. And we'll come back into warrior 2. Bend that right knee. Reach both arms up as you straighten the right leg, star pose, pivot all the toes forward. And we're going to swoop to crescent lunge at the back of the mat. So the right toes will ground, the heel will lift. And again, inhale, reach back, look back. As you exhale, lower the right knee down, half splits. Straighten through that left leg, pull the toes up. If you're working on full splits, we're going to be here for a few breaths. So just a few little pointers. Even if you're not fully into the splits yet and you can't get your pelvis down on the floor, it's all good. Val's going to grab a block here and show you how you can kind of use the block to help you grow into the full version of splits here. So even if you hover above the ground, all good. You should still practice moving the legs wider. No shame in the practice game. That's what we're here for. One more breath. Try to open the collarbones. Bring the shoulder blades together. And if you're in full splits, just take your time. We're going to wiggle out of it a little bit. Come back into kind of a low lunge. And then plant your hands around that left knee. And we're going to lift standing splits. Right leg is going to lift up. Gorgeous. And Shiva squat is where we're headed. So slowly at your own pace, bend both knees, stack them one behind the other. And if you want to practice balancing, maybe take the hands to heart center. We're going to keep standing strong on that left leg and come back into that one leg chair pose, kicking the right leg forward and holding for 3. Bending into that left leg for 2 and 1. Chair pose, sink the hips down, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, shoot the legs back. Let's move through our push-up. Beautiful transition, Val. Exhale the hips up. Heck yeah, working on that jump back. Okay, so a few breaths in our dog. Remember, we want a nice long back. So tuck your chin and just imagine the tailbone trying to kind of curl up, almost like you had the tail of a squirrel. And let's bend our knees, deep breath in. Exhale, hop to the head of your mat. Land in your forward fold. So straight away, let's bring the feet together, separate the heels a little bit, and we'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sit your booty down and raise those arms up. Chair pose. Inhale to reach the heart up. And maybe your exhale sinks you about an inch lower. Sinking into your chair pose. As you inhale, we're going to kick that right leg forward. Try to lift through the heel and sink the hips down a little lower. And when you're ready, kick it back. Warrior 3. Awesome. The toes angled down towards the mat. And then arms are either in front, behind, or at the heart. Let's go one more breath in. As you exhale, runner's lunge. Drip those right toes down, hands around the foot. And let's move into a side plank. We're going to float that left leg into the air. Hover it if you can. Lift it a little bit higher, and let's find our wild thing. Plop those toes down behind the right leg and lift the hips, lift the left arm. One more breath in. As you exhale, come back to the lunge. Bring the left foot up, right hand stays down. Sweep the left arm open for your twist. Gorgeous. Left hand will plant in front of the left toes. Half moon is where we're going. Attempting again to stack that right hip over the left, right shoulder over the left. If you feel comfortable, if you feel sturdy, you're going to look up towards your right thumb. Imagine that your right foot is kicking a wall. And when you're ready, let's gracefully land in that warrior 2. Open the arms up like wings. Gaze over your left middle finger. And let's flip that palm, reverse warrior. Keep a good bend in that left knee, maybe even a bigger bend if you can. Yes. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the knee. Keep reaching back with the arm. And then check in with that side body length. Bring it with you into triangle pose. Reach the right arm up. Beautiful. Pull the hips back. Lean back just a hair. Inhale. Use your exhale to lift up. Warrior 2. Arms are nice and long. We're going to reach up, star pose. Pivot all the toes to face the same direction. And when you're ready, exhale into your, star pose. And when you're ready, we're going to move to crescent lunge over that right knee. So back to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up and back. And then let's lower the back knee on your next exhale, half splits. Pull the right toes back. Now here we go. If you're working on full splits, you've got some time here. So start by just kind of widening the legs, and then wherever your limit is, you can keep the hands on the blocks like Val has, or you can even take one of your blocks and like put it in between your legs where normally you would start to kind of sink onto the floor. And from here, these are your different options to kind of work into your full day. So enjoy this for about another breath. And then take your time. You're going to start to wiggle out. We're going to end up back in a low lunge kind of stance. Right foot forward, left knee down. This is a very sticky mat we have here. All right, so start to curl the left toes under, pop that knee up off the mat. Standing splits. Left leg is going to come nice and high. Beautiful. Shiva squat is where we're headed. Bend the right knee. Left knee goes behind the right. And then if you're balancing, hands can come to the heart. Take a really big breath in. And we're going to come to that one leg chair. Float the left leg in front of you while you stand on the right. Sink the hips. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, chair pose, both feet down. Inhale. Exhale to fold. We'll halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale is our chaturanga. We're going to meet up again in a child's pose. If you want to move through down dog, that is totally cool. Now, when you get to your child's pose, watch your breath. See if it's gotten a little choppy. See if you can smooth it out. Make it a little longer, maybe. And come back to that intention. It's really easy to forget it while we move. So remind yourself why you're here. One more really big inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Maybe a little sigh comes out. Now let's move into plank pose on your next inhale. Bring the feet together and we're going to set up for side plank. Roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Let's do the right side first. There we go. Let's lift up that left leg. Beautiful. Keep lifting. And back to wild thing we go. Plop those left toes down. Reach the hips up. Reach the left arm back. Deep breath in. Now grounding into that right hand, we're going to bring the left knee with us. Left hand down, moving into fallen star. So you're going to kick that left leg through. Yep, lift up the right arm. And if you want to, float that left leg if it's in your practice. So float the right leg. Thanks, Val. All right, coming into pigeon pose. Lay that right leg down, hands down. You're going to wiggle the right knee behind the right wrist. Take a deep breath in and press the chest forward. As you exhale, let's come all the way down as low as you want to go. You can stay lifted on the elbows or a block. You can melt all the way down, arms reaching out in front of you. See what you can do about pulling the hips in line with each other. Kind of sucking that left hip up towards your left armpit. And imagine pulling the right hip back. Your practice is what you make it. So if you can find some gratitude for maybe something that was a little more difficult today, something you felt was out of your reach, and just be grateful for what you were able to accomplish. We're here for a couple more breaths. All right, so now we're going to get a good front view of that funky little side plank that we did before. So we're going to ground down, hands under the shoulders, start to curl the left toes under, and roll to the pinky toe edge of that left foot. Right foot is going to ground down. Reach your right arm up. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, really slow descent down onto that left hip. We're going to land on the booty and come into a seated twist. So the right foot is going to stay outside of that left knee. Unless you're not able to put the whole foot on the floor, then you're going to move it to the inside of the knee. So start to hug your knee with your right arm and start to bring the left arm behind you. Yeah, just like Val said, start to hug your knee with your left arm. Your left arm, and bring your right arm behind you as a little kickstand. So whatever's touching the ground on that right hand, really press down, lift up the crown of your head, and start to twist a little deeper on your exhales. So some of us are going to have the space in our body to take that left elbow and stick it to the inside of the right knee. Yeah, and then some of us will just continue that hug. So whatever is more accessible for you, land there for one more breath in and out. And we'll come back to center on an inhale. Start to bring your down dog hands to the front of the mat. So you're kind of twisting back around. And we're going to lift that right leg up, left leg up into a three-legged down dog. Right leg? Yeah. You guys know what I mean. There we go. Val's got it. You at home? I'm not too sure. Sorry about it, guys. All right, we're going to move through our vinyasa. Start to come down into your dog, move through your plank, and you know what to do. Exhale. Downward facing dog we go. So let's take 2 rounds of breath to kind of resettle, mostly for me to collect my thoughts on this flow. And then let's come into plank pose. We're going to bring the feet together and roll now to the outer edge of the right foot, lifting up that left leg nice and high. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, wild thing. Drip those toes down. Reach the left arm back. Awesome. So coming into our fallen star, both hands will come down. Bring that leg with you, kick it through, and then maybe lift if you've got the strength in your inner thigh. And let's come down to our pigeon pose, left knee behind the left wrist. Beautiful. Walk the right leg back, lift the chest, and exhale. Let's fall into that sleepy pigeon. So kind of notice what was different on side 1. Sink into it on this side. Imagine pulling back on the left hip and maybe squeezing the right hip forward a little bit. Try to remove any tension in the face and the jaw. Just be easy in your upper body here. We're at the tail end of our flow here, so try to keep your mind on your mat. We'll give that funky side plank a try again. So hands under the shoulders, curl the right toes under, and let's come to the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Left foot down. Inhale, lift the arm up. As you exhale, slow descent down to the butt. All right, now let's see if I can do this. We're going to go left arm around the left leg. No. Okay, right arm around the left leg, left hand behind you. There we go. Lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And exhaling to look over your left shoulder, even twisting the belly maybe past the left thigh. Let's go one more round of breath. When you're ready to inhale again, come back to center. And you're going to twist all the way around, hands plant, 3-legged down dog. Lift that leg up and back. And then exhale, plant the feet. Let's roll into our plank pose and move through one final vinyasa here. Exhale to your down dog. 2 rounds of breath in dog. Beautiful. Going to step to Malasana in the middle of our mat. So you can take a couple steps to get there. You want the heels in and the toes out. Sinking your booty, your pelvis down in between your feet and opening up the chest. Use your elbows against your knees to kind of find some expansion in the front of the body here. And then with a big exhale, we're going to sit down and come into boat pose. We aren't going to make it through my class without boat pose, guys. So lift the heart up and then try to maybe lift the legs up a little higher. All right, we're going to bring the fingertips down just outside the hips and then lift up the left toes and let the right toes tap down. Inhale, opposite. And then maybe add the arms, float them out in front of you, fingertips in front of you. And let's keep that going. One more round. You're strong. You got this. You can do it. Inhale back to your boat pose. And when you're ready, we're going to come into butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together. Grab around your ankles or maybe the inside arches of your feet. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's sink it down through the center. Round it forward. And then kind of use your inner thigh strength to press your knees closer to the ground. Take a really big breath in of whatever your feet smell like, and then open up your mouth and just let out a little sigh. Let's go one more round. Big, huge breath in. Exhale, let it go. So we're going to come into straddle pose. Hook your peace fingers around your 2 big toes and go one leg at a time. Open up one leg. And when you feel stable and steady, maybe open up the other leg. Try to pull your heart through your legs. Flex through your feet. And then left leg is going to go out long, right foot to left inner thigh. Let's go forehead to knee pose. Reach the arms up and exhale, fold over that long left leg. And same thing as we did in butterfly. Just imagine the right knee kind of pressing down towards the ground a little bit more, flexing through those left toes and pulling the heart towards the knee. Beautiful. Now think boat pose when we make our transition. See if you can lift the arms, lift the legs, and swap it out without using your hands. Yes. Exhale and fold over that right leg. Gorgeous. Keep pulling back from the right hip. Keep flexing the toes up towards the top of the head. Start to inhale and reach up. And as you exhale, we're going to bring both feet to the mat and do a little windshield wiper until we get down onto our back. And when you arrive, hug the knees into the chest, and let's find a happy baby when you're ready. Lift the feet up. You want the elbows on the insides of the knees, but the hands to the outsides of the feet. So figure that one out, little yoga for the brain. And then start to imagine that the tailbone can touch the ground. Imagine that you can press the back of your neck into the mat. And tune into what you feel here. Where do I feel tension and where do I feel space? Hopefully a little space in the hamstrings. We're going to hug the knees in towards the chest again. Open up the arms like wings. We're going to take a twist. Knees fall left, gaze can fall to the right. And there's a lot of variations of twisting. You can take the left leg out long and just hug that right knee in. You can even take the left foot towards the right hand, come into kind of a cattail stretching twist. So if there's something that you find is really comfortable or maybe something you've been working on twist-wise, then do that for yourself here. We're going to enjoy 3 more breaths in our twist. Try to get the right shoulder down on the mat. Try to keep your breaths really deep, even though the belly is kind of twisted up here. We'll unwind with an inhale. And when you're ready, we're going to take it to the other side. So the knees fall right, gaze will go to the left. And you can match what you did on the first side, or you can always change it. You decide, whatever feels good for your body. Start to tune into that left shoulder. See if you can use your exhales to bring it down against the mat. Keep your chest open towards the sky. Imagine aiming your breath down below your belly button and really filling up the belly. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale, we'll release. Start to come back into that little yogi ball, and we're going to rock it up to a seat here. So rock and roll. You can end in Shavasana if you would like, but I'm going to just take us through a little breath cycle together. So bring your hands to the center of your chest and close your eyes. Think really long neck, so tuck your chin. And on your inhale, really fill up the body with as much air as you can. See if you can hold your breath at the top. Exhale, let it go. Bow forward. Namaste, yogis. Yay.